3, 2, 1, hey! What's up, everybody? Welcome to Realm Nation, the test shot. We are at our first panel here. We got Chris getting ready to do a diorama panel. Just give it up. We got our host right here, Chris Pinkerton, Mr. Nasty. Get in front of it. There you go. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Has everyone got their materials? Everybody good?
Everybody's got everything they need to start.
All righty. So let's go ahead and get started. Very excited. Take it away, Chris.
All right. Thanks. Thanks to Brian for helping with the stream, and Derek for hosting, Jeremy for being my runner today. I appreciate that. Hey, give it up for Jeremy B being here. Shout out to the My Rock crew for making it happen. So.
Kidnapping. It's legal though. It's legal.
Yeah.
Consensual.
So I'm not saying I'm stealing Shelf Gravy's vibe, but I think I am. You can just go. So guys, we have a project today. I laser cut these out of foam.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know. My camera kept moving. So it's just a little panel with some line work with a Realm logo on it. I took the liberty of painting them black because I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So everybody's going to get one of these. I don't know if y'all can see that with this camera or not. I'm trying. There we go.
Yep. There
And then we're going to come up with an end product that looks something like this, or like this, or a million different colors. So this is what we're going to use. Let me show you the paints we're going to use. We're going to do a quick base coat with granite gray, followed by pumpkin orange.
Ooh, tis the season.
And then we have two different browns we can weather with. We've got brown oxide and territorial beige, the best name in paint. And then one of the magic things we use at Crashbox is this folk art metallic ice blue. I know somebody raise your hand if you've ever done anything like this before, like any sort of diorama painting or anything. Okay, about half of y'all. Cool. Y'all can help coach.
That sounds good.
Do you have the white for the draw brush?
So we're going to go basically we're using this granite gray and that icy blue. So Jeremy, we are going to start by giving everybody some granite gray. As soon as I open the ball.
Oh.
Let me show you.
Hey, you don't need one.
But no water?
So we're no water.
Whatever Bob Vila.
Maybe not even.
Bob Ross. Whatever Bob Ross.
So all right, guys, listen. So this is. Who's ever heard of dry brushing outside of the?
I very like to do color.
It is. So we're using granite gray just because I had some and it's not quite white. So basically, what we're going to do is what's called a dry brush. So I'll demonstrate what a dry brush is.
Slide that over there.
I'll have two of these.
Where can you get these paints?
So everything you've got here, either came from the Dollar Tree or Walmart, except the acrylic markers we're going to use later. Because we're going to use acrylic markers to go through and do all our details. These are great. This is just a cheap set, I think, for maybe $5 below or something. You just take two kind of coordinating colors, and depending on how weathered you want it to be, kind of half-ass painted, and it looks really cool. So this is what we're doing. You got your paper, you got your mat. Go ahead and open your paintbrush. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, these are cheap paintbrushes, and the bristles are going to fall out. Just be prepared to take them off. So you're going to put your brush in your paint, and just really want to get the tip of it. Just the tip. And then you want to, on your paper, and I will tell you guys, do this slowly because your neighbors don't want to splatter. Also, I have rubber gloves if anybody doesn't want to get it on them, but this is acrylic paint that comes off with water, soap and water. You're going to take that and you're basically going to brush off almost all of that. Okay? So when you get almost on the paper, when you get that far, you're going to just start moving it around on your work. I guess I should give y'all a fucking project. I was going to say.
Gosh, Jeremy, you were supposed to do this.
Test shot.
This is live to your neighbors. Sorry, guys. I got two. All right, so what you're gonna do is with your paintbrush, and listen, I'm gonna say this up front, you can't fuck this up. There is no way to fuck this up. This is art, it's gonna look like yours, right? So once you have the paint on your brush and you now have a project to paint, you're just going to slowly move that paintbrush back and forth over this. We're not trying to cover it, we're just trying to mute this black down. This technique is the key to successful painting. You ain't gotta do a good job, you can put too much on it if you want, it doesn't matter. If you wanna go get a little bit more paint and try it one more time. As heavy or light as you want. And if you get paint in the cracks, it's not a big deal because we're gonna work through that.
You have a crack like mine.
What's up?
All right, when you get pretty close to where you want to be, hold up your piece. I just want to see where everybody's at. This is, well, you can see where I'm at, but about like this.
Oh, I got one more panel.
Nice.
That's great. It's perfect. It doesn't got to be total coverage. But what's going to happen is the orange we're going to put on next is going to be, it'll show up better wherever the white is. So if you don't have full coverage, we're doing kind of a weathered finish here. All right, hold up your thing when you get it where you want it, just so I can kind of tell where we're at. And if you're holding it up, kind of wave it around a little bit so that paint will dry. I almost asked everybody to bring down their hair dryer from the room to speed it up. Yeah, so just like Bob Ross can do those paintings, he's wet painting, we're dry painting.
That's Bob Below.
So orange. All right, Jeremy's gonna come around and go ahead and get y'all pretty decent sized Bob. This one's already.
Is it okay if it's heavier in spots?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's perfect. So what that's going to do when you put the orange on, it's going to kind of give it a texture effect.
How did you cut the pattern out?
Okay, so I have a laser cutter. That's probably good. Yeah, and if people need more than that, maybe come back around. I have a laser cutter, and I designed this in about 20 minutes. I decided to do this on Thursday morning.
Oh, wow.
I went from nothing to having however many of these painted black in 2 prototypes before I went to bed that night. I'm sorry I'm like this.
We were all like, don't apologize. It's
Okay.
like a high school mentality.
So even if this is still a little wet, hey, if you're, okay. Everybody about done?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next step. Wherever you are doing this, it's fine. Okay? So we're gonna use this same brush, everybody. I want you to just beat the hell out of this brush on your paper, just to get as much of that paint off as you want. All right?
Beat the devil out of that.
They beat the devil out of it, yeah. And I guys, to be honest, this is how I do this. If I want to see, if I have just enough paint, I just paint on this. So, all right. Is everybody ready for the next step?
Yes.
We're gonna do a different technique. It's called stippling or stippling, however you want to say it. So we're going up and down here. So you want to go into the paint, and you can kind of bounce it a bit and get paint on the bottom. Okay. Then we're going to dab it off on our paper until we get like the bulk of that wetness off. All right, so I'll show you anybody that wants to do this. Like I'm leaving about that much on. Yeah. All right, so everybody got their paintbrush loaded? All right, what we're gonna do is start in the corner and we're just gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down. Just like this. If you don't have enough paint in your paintbrush, get some more paint. If you want to use more paint, use more paint. Only thing I'm telling you to do is the color on this, just because it'll be easier doing 12 different colors. The other thing this is going to do is it's going to dry pretty quick as well. And I do have my heat gun, which we could pull out if we have some super wet boys here. You don't need to get a ton of paint on the round logo because we're gonna be doing other colors, but it also doesn't matter. You don't have to be careful with it.
Make some copies.
Oh, thank God. Where were
In a tote,
they? Okay. Well, I have
in
a,
the white boxes.
Where would you
I
like?
have, you put them right here. I have a gift for everybody that participated today on top of,
Because you can't help yourself.
because I can't help myself. Some other psychotic thing I decided to do in 3 days later. Hey, my best ideas come under pressure. I don't know if you got.
You good, man?
So, so I use a software called Lightburn to design in. It is a laser-based program, but it'll let you export the files, which then I can use on my CNC machines. So now I've just pretty much taken that as my main design software. Let's take a peek here.
You said don't roll the wrong one?
Oh, you can't, hey, you gotta feel about it. Actually, let's, for these, let's use the side.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't really want to see the marks. Gotcha.
Brown next.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay.
Should I keep going?
Oh, dude, yeah, you can put one. So the way you see yours pulling down,
Yeah.
you could actually do the same with mine. Okay, how we for one?
Okay.
Where's the rest?
You're not gonna put it, that's all you gotta do. You're going for, he's going for super weathers over here.
Hey.
Hey, keep it down. Just looking at a minimum. Oh, I'm sorry, you probably wanna get the, what,
Oh, you do
maybe
want
there, yeah, so.
Do the logo, okay.
Yeah. Looking good. It's so interesting to see the different ways you are all capturing this technique, different varieties. All right. I like it. I think it's gonna look cool. Yeah, it's gotta get in the dry. I don't know, maybe we should just let's take a train and run around the building real quick and maybe dry them off real quick.
You said run the train?
Run a train, I did actually.
I don't know, is that kind of conventional?
Anybody who thinks they're gonna need help with the drawing.
Remember that shrubbery out front?
Eric's gonna need help. I know, right? I already threw it out.
For that to dry for this.
Oh.
I don't even know what's coming here. Oh, we've only gone 15 minutes. We're doing good.
Did Wolf not wake up yet?
I thought your name was E. That's how we identify you.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna cheat using heat gun on mine. If anybody else wants to do the same.
Were you kind of a fan?
Here you go. All right, everybody needs, we may have enough for everybody. If we don't,
One per
cut
table.
them- no, you cut them out. All right.
My teeth?
No, I think they'll just rip. How many we
Hey,
got?
what's your name? Jeremy.
7 plus 8, left. That's
2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 2, 4, 6.
That's some good math.
We're just short.
Jeremy. Jeremy. Maybe.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Oh. You can wash the dishes again.
Let's start up here. All right, we're not washing dishes, I promise.
Yeah, I quit that job a long time ago. Oh, your scissors are better.
We get all our half.
I'm the Jedi.
All right. Anybody need some help drawing theirs, because we're getting ready to go to the next step, which it can be a little wet at some point.
Is this step 3 or
This would be step 3. Everybody got a sponge? Kind of.
So what's the difference in the technique from the first layer to the orange layer?
So the first was just to put down a base, so the yellow would, or the first was to put down a base just so the color would pop. You got a couple spots. And then the top, the stippling is just a different effect you can get. You're gonna want to go through the the negative space. Yeah. But let me split it up here. Hey, Eric Burgess, if you ain't bringing that thing up here to let me dry, I don't know what else to do. He's gonna win the orange contest. Oh, my bad. Ryan Brinket.
Did you dip it in the orange paint?
Damn.
He says it's fucking spicy.
Man, your paintbrush was shit. You were killing this thing.
Tis the season.
Yeah,
Alright, we are live in the Realm Collectors Instagram.
Oh, snap.
live
We're building shit.
from Realm Nation. It's that shot. And we're building shit.
All right, anybody else need a dry?
Eric B. Tranquilizer.
Shake
And
it
the
up.
whole mother
All right, Jeremy.
Hit me one more time.
Hit
me one more time.
Thanks, Ace.
What's up, guys? What's up, everybody?
Thank you for letting us in.
You're live on the Realm Collectors Instagram. Live from Realm
I got
Nation.
two pieces funny.
Ash is in the house, Matt, Eric B.
Yeah, it's working.
Stay safe. She's working.
No, I'm just manning the.
Live from Realm Nation. First panel of the day, guys. The Pinkerton panel, we could call it, I guess. Diorama building.
It's pretty, yeah.
Making the custom dioramas here. We share with them. Sure, absolutely. Check this out.
Nomination.
One more round? Can I get a round?
Round. Okay, I need the paintbrush time. These will also fall apart on your project. I apologize. Brian, would you mind just letting me keep them? Pretty much everybody can get a paintbrush. I think I've got like 21, so.
Sir?
Y'all will each take one of these and have them there. Everybody got it? All right, guys.
I think we're the same.
Take that paintbrush.
Good times here, guys.
Take that
Oh, Dom's selling our
paintbrush
shit.
and
He's
get
in. He's
as
hot.
Get as much of the orange paint off as you can. Keep in mind if it's super wet, it might splatter.
Guys.
You guys have a little
Live
paintbrush?
from the panel.
Nope. You're supposed to get three at once.
No,
We'll take a walk.
one
We'll take a
paintbrush.
walk. Go to Rachel.
Anybody, is there more paintbrushes here?
Need one more.
There's a whole other pack.
Well, I used to have to dab the excess wet paint.
Just need.
Oh, first of all?
Oh, they need some.
That is some.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, no, I don't need that. I'm good.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
the
one.
one.
No, it's just.
Well, I'm just. If that's got too much paint.
All right, so
This is Inception. You're holding a phone. I'm holding a phone. I'm live. You're live.
everybody got most of their paint off. Get around wherever you want. All right. So now we're gonna. You have two ways you can do.
Don't forget,
this.
guys, we're also streaming on the Realm.
You have your little paintbrush, and then you have the one we've been working with all day. I gotta get me some of this paint.
All right, let's see what's going on.
This stuff is magic. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dry brush, but you can do this however you want. You can do it selectively. This is the thing you don't wanna go too crazy on. A lot goes a long way. So load up your paintbrush however you want. Here, Joe, get a new, if you're using the sponge thing, I'm gonna just give you a new one. Yeah. Anybody else using the sponge? Yeah, just give him a new sponge. There should be a bag with some sponge. Oh, here, my bad. Alright.
Matt has a sponge.
No, whoever's using the sponge, just give them a new one, because they don't last long. Alright, so I'm gonna take my beater brush here that I've cleaned as good as I feel to keep dry. And then I'm gonna put it in pretty liberally. I'm gonna put on my brush. But then I'm gonna beat the hell out of this thing and get as much of it off as I can. Okay, you want it, we're just leaving like a sheen, right? This gives it that metallic look. If you ever, anybody has our complex pieces, that kind of depth of metallic, that's this stuff's magic. This and the sealer we're gonna use. All right, once you have that on there.
Chris, can you do that one more time? What you just did, so you just dabbed it?
Yeah, so you just wanna go, just basically in your puddle, just go straight down.
Okay.
And then you just wanna, out of that paint, you just wanna get as much of it off.
Got it.
Yeah, and then this is just a super light touch, like, the weight of a cigarette paper. If anyone knows that reference. You're just gonna start getting your corners and your edges, and you'll see the magic happen, right? You guys see this happening? Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, that is cool.
So like I said, guys, everything, I mean, the foam comes from Home Depot. Yeah, I did this with the machine because I love y'all, but I ain't gonna hand cut 30 of these. But this could be done by hand. You know, you could do this with a hot knife. You know, a lot of stuff. I thought it would be more fun to teach you guys something and something you can take away with you. Or maybe learn a new technique. And you can be as light or as heavy on this as you want. I'm really bad at this. And you'll see you'll start to get some of the texture from the foam. That's just the texture that kind of comes with the foam.
Are we still avoiding the emblem right now?
No, you can hit the emblem, that's fine. All right, take a look.
Understand, I'm just heading
This looks way too good for me doing it.
Good, yeah, just get it all in those little cracks and curves. And you can't mess this up. It just may be more metallic than not.
Yeah,
I think it's good, man. Yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm not artistic, so I didn't think I could do these things.
Listen, the art in this is having a good time and learning how to do something. Hey, why is your water that color? What have you been doing? I didn't say anything about using the water. Y'all got dirty water. That half of the room is disqualified from the diorama contest. Hey, Jeremy,
Here for us to drink.
water, can you give me some water? Actually, can you give me 2 waters? Because I'm gonna drink one of them. Okay, everybody pretty happy with what they got there?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we're doing this quick. What time we got, Brian?
You got 20 minutes.
We got 20 minutes. Okay, there's some choices that have to be made. We are going to use acrylic markers to do our details here, and this is all I have. So if you guys want to come up and pick our color, or you just want me to hand them out to you.
Brad, what's left over, bro? I'm not picking it up.
Yep. So give everybody
Brad,
a color.
Brad, I want to write
The brighter one's the better.
We're going for it.
I'm going to start with yellow. Okay. So while Jeremy's handing those out, your piece by now should be between the first paint and the dry brush. You probably have a pretty dry piece, right? Because we're gonna be laying.
All right. Safety, okay.
All right, so as you're getting your markers and you're finishing up your dry brush, can y'all color in the lines?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, so where's my demo?
Basically, I need your help for that.
We're gonna paint, I mean, listen, if you guys wanna paint each panel different colors, that's also fine. But as you can see, what I did is all those parts are actually connected. So you just start maybe at that piece and then everything that's connected to it, just a couple of floating pieces in the middle. You can't mess this up, guys. So whatever color you got, I'll show you how I am gonna attack it and we'll go from there.
So there's two different tips on this too.
Yeah, so you have two different tips. You have like a ball, and then you have a brush. So just find which technique works best for you. For this, I'm going to use the bulb end. So first thing you need to do is dump water all over yourself. Jeremy, why don't you put that right there? Hold on.
Because that was for drinking.
Chris.
I blow.
Probably. Thank you.
Yeah, these are the ones we give out with rubber towels.
They're not bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, so all right, take your, whichever you're gonna use, press it down into your paper just to like activate the paint. And then you're just gonna start coloring. And listen, you don't have to do a good job, because this is gonna look like it's painted and damaged and weathered, right? I made a mess right on camera, everybody.
So you're lefty, can you paint from a slightly different angle?
Oh, my bad.
There we go.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is just outline the whole thing on the inside and outside, and then I'm gonna come back and fill it in haphazardly, right? Because this was weather, right? So the way we're doing these isn't like it's factory finish. So, a lot of the time when you're doing weathering, you think, oh, this has to be like pristine off the showroom floor new when I start, or before I weather it, and truthfully it isn't. You can weather it as you go. And then try not to get your hand in it if you're left-handed trying to show people. And if you get a little inside the line or outside the line, it also does not matter. You cannot mess this up. Yeah, these acrylic markers, I believe they came from Five Below or something like that. And I mean, it's the same paint that in these Apple Barn paints and stuff. Everybody's working hard, quiet.
But if you had like Poscas, then you could use those.
They would probably work. I
Fancy.
would just test it on a piece to make sure there wasn't any, because some of those are alcohol markers, and I honestly don't really know too much of the difference between them.
This is straight up paint markers.
These are acrylic paint markers, yeah. I'm sure there's plenty on Temu or whatever, if that's your cup of tea. Cup of tea move.
Ah.
How we doing out there? Getting it done? It's like an adult, it's like an adult coloring book. I'm excited to see everybody. I want to take pictures of them. So I did hit this with the heat gun when I built them. It just opened up the cracks a little bit more to give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, buddy. Turn on the heater. So as you can see, like the painting we did was purposefully, we didn't paint it like perfect orange and then just start deteriorating it, right? We led with the deterioration.
Yeah, that's cool. I always thought you weathered glass, not ever doing any of this.
Right. So it depends, like, if you're doing a model kit, you don't have a lot of options, right? It is, you gotta get it to where you can weather it, but stuff like this, you can weather it as you go. And you can be really haphazard filling in your logo. And if you have some like brush marks in your painting is also fun. If it starts to like not come out as well, just like tap it on your table, on your paper, and it should re-ink it. How we doing on time tonight?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, all right. Knew this would be the part that would take the longest. It is a bit tedious, but. How many lefties we got in here?
Weirdos.
Not
to be trusted.
I don't know, man.
You know what? I think this will look good behind the olive.
Oh, is
The
that-
orange one.
Or maybe something you got last night, right?
Yeah.
Look, maybe you'll have something else here in a minute after we get done. All right. Oh, I thought I was done, but I didn't.
I might steal one of these.
Hey, Jeremy, can you see if we have enough paper plates to give everybody, or at least the table and do? Yep. Actually, you know what? They're not as messy as me. They don't need another paper plate. That's my bad. Thanks for being neat, guys. Has anybody got painted in the
Would
ear?
you like new ones?
I'm good, actually. I have another one over here. All right. How we looking, guys? Getting there, getting there. That's a pretty blue. I like that. The wild archive. Oh, I you got
In high school, there's this, remember talking about Beavis and Butthead? No, it was friends.
Do more for the back.
Huh?
Do more for the back.
You see another one?
I don't know. That one doesn't look
Oh, I
like.
think it's just about the color of.
Yes, color marker.
Good point, I don't know if they must do it. All right, let's go ahead and get everybody, there's two different paints here, there's territorial beige and brown oxide.
Which is.
Hang on, I'm getting my knife out.
Wonder if anybody, we got other coats? This
Oh,
one like plain color.
oh, dude, no, that's, yeah, I'm not. All right, I'm sorry, I didn't think
Back
about
to class.
that. Grab what I had.
Stop there.
So, guys, we can stop here. I mean, art is what you want it to be. It's done when you say it's done. I have an awful problem that I never think it's done.
I had one question, Chris.
Yeah, very little.
What is art?
Stop. Step it.
Art is creating something that you enjoy. There you go. There's your answer. I hate everything I make because I look at it for so long. By the time I actually produce it, I'm like, I can't stand even looking at those shipping containers. I worked on those for 3 years.
They look amazing too, man.
Thank
Yeah, you do.
They're on show special here if anyone would like to take one home. They travel very well.
I was like, are those the ones that you bought off Temu?
Oh man,
Because they sell them on Temu, but I think they're small.
what is that they sell?
They sell like shipping containers.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I've done all the research there could possibly ever be on this. Yeah, there's definitely some out there. All right, so probably need to be wrapping this up in the next couple of minutes. Raise your hand if you're done painting your thing. Okay, we got pretty close. So we're gonna roll on to the next, just for time's sake. And guys, I'm happy to bring this stuff in there if you guys want to do some work in the dealer room. I'm happy to do that. So Jeremy should have brought you. He's bringing you two paints. Territorial beige and brown oxide is coming next. They are a little closer in color than I originally wanted them to be, but that's what you have to shop at Walmart and you shouldn't be out in public. So you have a sponge, right? So those of you that still have clean water, we're going to do a little different technique here. So you got these two colors, turquoise beige and the oxide. So take your sponge. I don't know if I'm even on this camera. Take your sponge and you're gonna dip it in your water, guys. You're gonna dip your sponge in just the corner of it. All right, you're gonna come over here and it's almost like dry. You're gonna tap it off and get some of the water off of your paper. You're gonna go in this darker color. All right, and then you're gonna get almost all of it off. And you can use both sides. You can use the angry side and the happy side, right? All right, and then we're just gonna. This is a very light touch. We're gonna weather it, but just put the paint on the corner. All right, like just a little bit. And we're gonna do it on the corners, or you can do this wherever you want. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it. And the more orange you have in your paper, the better this is going to show up. And like you can put it here and then pull down and give it a little like drag. I know die casters would definitely do good with that technique. A little pull down. And like I said, you can make this as heavy or light as you want. Probably for time's sake, make it pretty light. Is it showing up for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. The more orange you had on your original coat there, the more you're going to get. I like to just add some drips. Yeah. All right. You feel like you got that kind of where you want it or where it's going to be exactly. Take another end of your sponge, the end that you haven't used for that, and you're going to just, without wetting it, you're going to dab the corner into the dark paint.
The dark or the light?
The dark paint. We're still on the dark paint.
Oh, it's on the same color.
Yeah, and then you're going to dab almost all that off on your paper. And then after that, we can come in and just add some weathering. You want to twist what you're doing so you don't end up with a pattern from where your paint lays. But as you can, and this once again will depend on the color that you use. But it'll start to just add the different depths and textures in.
Kind of looks like rust on it.
Exactly.
Now, Chris, how much experimentation went into developing this technique?
I mean, I bought the sponges at Dollar Tree and said that'll work. And, well, no, I did proof of concept when I built these two. I did.
Figuring out the rust, figuring out the paint combination.
10 years. 10 years. I mean, this is 10 years worth of me kind of just knowing what I'm doing. Because I've been doing it so long. All right, now, once you get that kind of where you want it, let's go. You should have at least one more corner maybe on your sponge. We're going to go into that lighter paint, okay?
Dry?
Yeah, we're going to be dry on this one. Sorry, water boys. Once again, as heavy or light as you want, and you want to just kind of put this around where you were working before. Not like right on top of it, but you'll see that lighter paint kind of puts some depth on that darker paint. You see that? Kind of makes it stand out a bit more. Time, Brian?
11:57.
15, nope. We're going to have to take 15 minutes. No way. Hey guys, everybody okay to stay just a few extra minutes?
Yeah. You're cutting into breaks time.
No, I'm just going to run right up. Well, Rick ain't got to set nothing up.
Do you approve?
Rick, do you approve?
Hey, look, man.
You guys are doing good work here. Great. That's excellent of you.
Yes.
All right, whenever you get that kind of where you want it, you should have a little paintbrush. And let's see how we're going to do this. We actually have way too much water in our cups, but that's okay. I'm going to give everybody a squirt of soap. Squirt. Yeah, and then I'm going to come behind. Make that from it. Guys, I want a picture of everybody with their project before you get out. I don't know how this is gonna react to the dirty water, but we're gonna find out. Oh, we got new water.
Keepers.
Yeah.
These are keepers.
Yep, I'm shitting in all your clothes. All right, you can take your big paintbrush and stir this up. We're making a wash. So what happens is the soap basically lubricates the paint, and it's gonna run into our.
It's a lubricate.
Just a little bit of soap.
Yep.
You.
You're playing that.
Looks like charcoal, kind of. I know.
Come on, I need to go get mine.
No. Way too soon.
That's just dish loaf?
Yeah.
Chocolate milk, man, I got a 600.
Or you can use your big paintbrush to make the chocolate milk, okay? This is way too much water for, did everybody get chocolate milk?
I think so.
Or, red milk. You. Me make myself. All right, so use your beater paintbrush here. Make it a little black wash.
Brown one?
Whatever you want to call it. All right,
So for us to use a sponge.
so we're gonna use our little paintbrush. Everybody has a smaller paintbrush. I don't know exactly which one.
Oh,
You're gonna take that and you're gonna put it in, just dip it all the way in, and then you're gonna trace all your lines, okay? And it doesn't seem like it's doing something, but I guarantee you.
You mean the cut lines, the line you cut?
Yeah, all the cut lines, yeah, just run it over them.
So basically the stuff we painted.
Yep, basically that's a great way to put it. You can run this over everything that you painted. And then do the square edges as well. And once again, you cannot mess this up.
Do we dry it or do we just?
You can just leave it where it's at for the moment. Or you know what, you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
I don't think I noticed that. Yeah, I just want to wrap that. It's something small, little gesture. It's nothing crazy to watch.
How's she doing?
She's good.
All right.
It's a great.
Yeah, I saw that.
My sister, she
Now I am gonna pat mine off. If anybody wants to pat theirs off because they feel it's too wet, we got towels here. You guys learned something today?
Yeah. Learn how to weather.
There you go. I expect all y'all have beautiful.
You got my ball spot.
Shade it in.
Yeah, you got something for this, Chris?
Yeah, come on. Wow, these are awesome, guys.
It's like a sheen on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like to get something different there.
so many different variations.
You know, it just kind of just shows you like how.
All right, as we finish up, guys, I want to thank y'all for coming in. This is the key to I'll be honest, this is one of my favorite products in the world. This is Minwax polyurethane warm satin spray. I've talked a lot about this. This somehow adds this incredible depth to projects. Like it takes the highlights and pulls them up, takes the dark and pushes it back. I have this today. If you want to get yours sealed, we can go out in the parking lot and do it.
Yeah.
How you gonna do that?
I was going right here.
Another
we'll all be hot.
Another thing that I did not talk about because lack of time is adding texture. You can add texture at any time in a project using something as simple as a ball of aluminum foil. Works great.
After you seal it?
I would do it before you see, like right now, I'll do it on here. Let's say this panel got crushed, right? We're gonna just push in with this rock, right? I don't know if you guys can see, but to add in, just pushing it in adds the texture there, right? So let's say something hit it or whatever. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank y'all for coming. I do have a gift for my attendees. I may not have enough for everybody, but I can get them for you later. Did you guys get a new toy last night from the round?
Oh,
yeah. What? My man needs somewhere to sit, right? So I've got some custom printed drones for you. So before you, I'll catch you on the way out. And some of them are symbols, some of them are not. If you don't know how to use Bluebird to ship, please take one that's not a symbol. Yeah, what time we got, Brian?
So 5.
Okay, we gotta wrap up.
All right. You're 12:15, right?
Yeah, I have them in gold and I have them in.
I can take one unassembled.
My wife called it flesh color.
I'll take one.
Okay.
Said you have unassembled?
Yeah. See, Jeremy on the way out. And I'm gonna try to get out of Brian's session on.
Good job.
All right, guys, listen. If you want to keep any of your paintbrushes, please do. I did not intend on. They're not really. I just need my markers back. Everything else can be thrown away. Maybe my daughter's markers.
I'm super duper early, but other than Monday, because I had to go to physical therapy, but it's gonna be tough Monday going back. I could. But I'm only got a half a day, so. This is awesome, man. Very professional. Great play. Mine's gonna be.
I could use an extra monitor though, that's for sure.
You wanna get the one out of my bag?
No, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now.
Oh, that monitor's like 07.
I
didn't bring my new one, I brought my old one.
Do we need to bring in the Don TV?
Yeah.
All right.
Is it time, bro?
I'm sorry, we're not painting, but we're gonna talk about charts.
All right, let's get it.
I might have a few technical difficulties because I'm using a laptop I've never really used before. I just got it working 2 nights ago, so. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Windows 11. Well, okay, so let's just get started and see how it goes. Okay, so we are going to talk about charting crowd funds in the collecting space. For those of you familiar with the charts that I've been making, does anybody know when I started? What was the first thing I started charting?
Unicron.
Yes.
You get a Cheeto.
So
Did I order Unicron just now?
he's right.
You get a Cheeto.
Unicron was the first one.
An hour from now, you get a
And,
Cheeto. Are you shaving this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, Unicron was the first one, and it had its wonderful challenges of not going to reach its goal, and then it got extended. Then we didn't really know how many were actually going to be made, stuff like that. But one of the reasons why I really kind of got into it, though, was like Bobby was really interested in it, right? He wanted to see, because this is the first time past the sale bars that the Transformers community was interested in this stuff. And so he asked me to match this up against the sail barge. And I was like, okay, well, I already agreed to do a graph on the Unicron, but now, you say you're going to do something, you're like, well, can you do this now? Can you do this now? It's kind of like how Realm Nation happened and how this is all going. But I was actually able to track down all the numbers for the sail barge because there's a diehard Star Wars thing on Instagram called Forlom to Zuckus. And he just happened to post all the data. So I was able to do that and actually start doing comparisons. So that's sort of the history of how this got started.
Did you see the R turn?
Yeah. It's like what unlocks the next one.
So now let's talk about the types of crowd funds that we've been charting. Obviously, we just talked about HasLab being there, and that's the main one with Transformers, Star Wars, classified, things like that. And then also through some other podcasts I listen to that are interested in things like Motu and stuff like that, I tracked the Eternia crowdfund that Mattel Creations did a few years ago. And then also Super 7 gets into the crowdfund game where they've done 2 so far, Cat Slayer, which funded, and the Cobra Mothership, which did not do that. Thunder Tank was retail. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Thunder Tank was retail. And then just this past year, I started getting into graphing some Kickstarter stuff as well.
Did you do the Jurassic Park one also?
I did do Jurassic Park, yeah. Yeah, that one didn't do well either. All right. And let's see what's next here. So now I want to talk about the collecting community too, right? So I don't just do this for myself, but I do it for all of you. Put the numbers together. People find it interesting. It's gained me a little bit of popularity too, outside of things like us at ETR and the Realm of Collectors. And I also share my stuff on Facebook at the Realm of Collectors Facebook group as well. But also, again, Bobby was one of the people that first started sharing that stuff with Unicron and things like that on his channel when he would do like sit down Saturdays and things like that. A lot of big talk around that Unicron at the time. And then additionally, there's another podcast I listen to called Open Your Toys, and they go every other Sunday. I was introduced to them by T2RX6 from Shattercast or All Hail Unicron fame. And they actually showed up to our rock party in Reston, like 2017, I think. And that was really, really cool. And you know how we say don't watch the ETR for the news? Watch this one for the news. He goes in deep on everything, and they're a good, fun group of guys. I recommend them as well. And then additionally, Geek Dad Life. So I started watching him after what was called the great debate between Retro Blasting and Spectre Creative. And what's nice is like he streams on Sunday, and I'm just watching that while I'm prepping for the Robot News, basically. And I forget which crowdfund we started with, but I think it was maybe some Ghostbusters or maybe it was a Star Wars one. But I was like, hey, because somebody was telling him about my charts, and I was like, I'll just send this to you. Proton Pack, maybe, yeah. And
They're heavy Ghostbusters guys.
Yeah, heavy Ghostbusters fans. And so he started sharing it, and then he ended up opening up a website, and then I learned how to like share the graphs, and we'll talk about that too. And then another one is Toy Anxiety, who I learned from Geek Dad Life, just, you know, how Shattercast would promote, you know, their like-minded stuff, so he promotes his like-minded stuff. That's another good podcast on Tuesdays. Don't watch that during Transform. Do You Even Transform, Bro? But the nice thing is they start at 9:30. Do You Even Transform, Bro? Sometimes it's over at 9:30. So yeah, so that's nice, and they're very fun as well. And just to shout out one more, this one's called Brick Something. He streams every Sunday, and he does some magical stuff with StreamYard with overlays and things like that. And he'll get in a guest every Sunday, and he'll go into their customs and things like that. And he just kind of covers some of the things that he thinks are interesting. And this is what I do on Sundays. I just watch toy podcasts and full news and things like that. All right, here comes the spin. So, capturing and compiling data. How I do this is not extremely technical. It's screenshots from my phone, where I like to at least keep a historical record of the data I'm putting out there. Because if someone was like, hey, look, man, these numbers are all off. I'm like, well, I know I got screenshots with timestamps, but no one's ever going to come after me for that. They haven't yet, I guess.
Emotional distress.
Yeah.
So got your receipts.
Yeah. So basically I do screenshots, and then of course, and that's just for historical record, then I go in and actually update the spreadsheet with the information. Now, if we're going to capture this just to make a graph during a campaign, that's fine and good. But also, we want to, what are we going to do with all this data that we consume? And so for every campaign, I can track performance metrics and also put information together for different categories. We can organize them by company, brand, how long they were, what their goal was, how many stretch goals they have. We've got, performance to plan here as well, like this 469%, that's the Razor Crest. And so basically that's because their fund goal was 6,000, but they just went nuts. And I'm sure Hasbro sees stuff like this, is like, well, if things are gonna perform like that, like let's start upping that fund goal, right? So I have heard through the grapevine that the Hasbro people actually use this data that I put out there. And I think we can see that as part of some of the campaigns that have come in the recent past, such as the Rattler and things like that. And what they do is they start doing things like, let's announce all the goals in the beginning, because it turns out, announcing them as they unlock. It's not driving any more traffic to the campaign, things like that. So that's what they kind of use this data for. It's been all right. So we also have some things where after doing this so many different times, I've learned to trick out Google Sheets. That's what I like to call it, because you can kind of use it for maybe things that it might not be intended for. You just look at the features and you can, like I said, trick it out. So one of the things is if you look at a chart, and we'll look at some here in a minute, where you have like all the numbers on the data points as the lines go up, you can actually replace that with labels. So you can put like any text there that you want. Or you can plot text throughout the graph. And I've set up some of these now where all I have to do is put numbers into one cell and it'll automatically update percentages and numbers all over the chart. It's like that.
Brian's new show, Pick My Spreadsheet.
So let's look at some chart types. So we can do pie charts, we can do our daily backer comparisons between campaigns, things like that. And I'm gonna show some examples here. And here's where the technical difficulties kind of come in, because I'm having trouble between StreamYard and other things of trying to switch screens and things like that. So one moment here.
Save that shit to an SHD, right? What's that?
So is Rattler gonna unlock all tiers?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe everybody want that variance,
Everybody wants the Baroness. It'll unlock.
Well, they just got tier 2, right?
Yes.
Right.
Tier 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
that last day goes nuts. Is that historical on every campaign? The last day it goes nuts.
Yep, we're gonna look at that. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually look at some charts here. So here, as of the before mentioned Geek Dad Life, he's got icons here on the side for all the different kinds of charts that I've done.
Logo, you sneaky dog.
And yeah, all right, we're not gonna subscribe.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, so let's see here. Which one did I want to look at first? That's not the right one.
Right.
Here we go. We're gonna look at the ghost first, just for fun.
Which one is the go? Oh, that was one I didn't buy. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted to go in.
I didn't watch it.
Shopping for
That's
espresso.
It was like $4.50.
Why would anyone do
I
that?
don't know. Why would you do that?
All right, so let's look at this ghost. Everybody see this? Yeah. All right, so I wanted to pull this one up because we have different kinds of. What's that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
That was
I
Sam
thought I heard
Sherman.
questions.
That was this wise
All
guy.
right.
He's wise ass, I'm fat ass.
So we got, this is a typical line graph, but I wanted to pull up here. We can do things with weekly backer volumes. So instead of just looking at, these boring graphs, because as we'll see, they all follow this kind of weird S curve, but you can kind of see how things perform from week to week to week as well. And again, you always have this spike in the beginning and you have this spike at the end. And here's a comparison between the Razor Crest and the Ghost. And let's see, here's the pie chart that I had talked about as well, where during the course of a campaign, this will actually fill out as it funds and the colors unlock things. It's a lot of fun. I haven't done that one in a while because no one ever used it or talked about it. Here's an interesting one, which is the daily backer comparison. So again, you can kind of see not a lot of action in the middle, but those end spikes and beginning spikes are basically the most prevalent thing. So
you're comparing because your red is your ghost and you're comparing it to the Razor Crest numbers.
that's right.
Yeah. as by days versus, time. Yeah,
It's an interesting performance comparison between the two,
yeah, definitely.
given how much more the razor press.
And those peaks look like tiers. Tier reached, little peak, tier reached.
Yeah,
peak.
possibly. And then we have ones that we can do like this, where
Yeah, it goes for $500. Jeez, no wonder why I skipped it.
yeah, so and this is a nice chart because you can get all of the key points of the campaign kind of compared to other crowd funds in the same brand. So again, this one was for the Ghost, and we have the Razor Crest here. And so I put the price in here, you put the year in here. Some of them, like the Ghost, had no 4th and 5th stretch goal, where that Razor Crest, which went like gangbusters, you could say, maybe it did more because it had these extra stretch goals in here. But, who could say for sure?
I think it did.
I mean, well, Mandalorian is just
less,
cool,
too.
right? So,
Sorry.
Mandalorian was money for them.
all right, let's take a look at the Dragonfly.
I think their HasLab price point, like,
So let's hold
$350.
on. Let's stay focused, because he's gotta get through this, and we.
So I think for the Dragonfly, I just had examples. I thought it might be interesting to see, like, say the Dragonfly versus the His Tank, since they were also very, very similar. His Tank, again, had additional unlocks that the Dragonfly didn't have. So, but that His Tank is really more of it was just the first one out of the gate, and that's why a lot of people backed that one.
It's a little bit better comparison, because the price point isn't so far off the two.
There's also economic factors too. 2020, the pandemic year, people were getting,
Yeah, a lot of money's spent.
you were getting money, checks in the mail or whatever. So inflation wise.
Boom, comic market for a while. Comic market was come crashing.
Right.
And
Nice and best.
let's look at one more. This is a Kickstarter based chart that I did for Spiro Toys.
Wow.
And they, Kickstarters are a little bit different than the HasLab crowdfunds, because we're actually tracking funds, right? And this one's more fun, as you can see, because it's got more things happening like throughout the life of the Kickstarter. And then the blue line here tracks the backers, right? And you can see they did a little bit less than their first campaign. And also I did projections. They said it was they're like, I actually contacted them before I put the projection in. I was like, listen, I don't want to like snowball your project here by doing something wrong. They're like, no, put it in there, put it out there. I was like, okay. But as you can see, they have tons of stretch goals here. And instead of doing the whole baseline where we do the angle to see if the project is on target, I just did them straight across. It was just way easier to read. And then what's interesting too is you can see these spikes here with a Kickstarter. That's where like BBTS put their first order in that day, right here.
Gosh, yeah.
And then they did it again on this day. Yeah. So that's kind of where
So those spikes usually represents major retailers when they,
Yeah.
look at those.
But how do you know those are BTS ones?
I was like, hey, what's happening here? And they're like, we had a retailer make a big order. So yeah. All right, so let's move back over here to the panel.
Are you doing a Q&A?
I could. Where are we here? I actually want to start. I think we'll skip the Rattler for right now. I was going to just basically see where the Rattler was at, but last night was long and crazy, and I don't think I got the numbers from last night. I forgot. Yeah, so hopefully nothing crazy happens in the campaign. All right, so let's build a chart together. So I forgot my clipboard because I was going to write some stuff down. But I think I got it. piece of paper in my bag over here. You know what? Dom has my clipboard. It's putting in work.
Yes.
So, check out that animation. You see that?
Yeah.
So we need to first find out what our brand or our product is. So,
Rockbox.
Rockbox.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. How long is a Rockbox?
Month?
That was like 2 months.
6 weeks.
21 days.
21 days.
Let's do 30 days around.
Let's do 30.
Yeah.
All right. Our main target goal, 500.
Holy crap.
Let's get
Wow.
it.
Let's be ambitious.
Wow.
Hey,
That's
look,
a bit
look how many
ambitious.
people are watching.
Let's do 100 to be, just to make it look cool.
Let's see. Any early bird goals?
Early bird was to.
No, are we having one? Yes. Let's just do an early. We'll do an early bird. We're making a chart.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So yes to early bird. What do you think an early bird target would be? Like if we get, say, what?
So,
50% in the first week?
No.
You know, it's 500?
Yeah.
25?
25% in the first week. What's 25 of 500?
25% of 500.
Yeah, what's that? 125.
125.
125. See, these are all the things that you calculate.
Yeah.
These are all the things that you calculate before
No
you
one
do
told
it.
me I had to come to school this weekend.
All right. Any stretch goals?
Let's do
Second
maybe
shirt.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I think I can only go up to 3
Yeah.
on this template that I made.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are our stretch goals? Say maybe 600, 700, 800?
Okay, so the first stretch goal would be maybe something simple like the tools and the
Well, no, no.
These, um,
All right.
go
So,
by
all
100
right.
increments, 100 increments.
So let's do.
Are we doing 50, right? I mean, I'm saying we're doing 100. right?
500.
We're doing
So
500. Okay,
Like
so.
your first stretch goal, like 6, 7, 8. Anything
So 25% of that would be 125.
How about 600, 700, and 1,000?
Okay.
Make that last one
500
just
funds.
numbers.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, I see what I see.
Okay.
All right.
And we'll come up with names later.
Yeah.
We'll just call them stretch goal 1, 2, and 3 for
Yes.
now. And well, comparisons. That's gonna be hard to do because all my comparisons are in like the 20,000s. But we might look into that. Let's see. All right. So let's
Did you
build.
do the ramen? Oh, he didn't really.
2% of total.
He didn't really crowdfund the
Yeah,
ramen.
yeah.
No,
The numbers
Yeah.
were a little funky.
He built and sold it. That's, yeah.
I remember
He did a quantity and sold it. Yeah.
Where is my chart? Bear with me a minute.
He wants to see his little website.
Yeah.
Where are you? Oh, it's a different user. So I have, since I share those charts out, so I use a different account for all that stuff.
I really use Google products. Yeah, but
All right, here we go. Let's get started. So let's put in today's date. And 12:46.
Yeah.
This is gonna be interesting. All right. So what we say, 30 days?
Yes.
Okay. So
Just ask about having a couple of shirts on tap, like,
So what I have to do is, first, when you find out what your time frame is, you gotta start setting up the chart for that specific time frame. So we are going to be counting down. To 0. Wow, how's it looking? All right, so we're starting today, and we're going until September 23rd. All right, so that's our number of backers are going to go in this column, and then we have our baseline. What did we say? What we were at, 500? Is that it? So 500 is our main target goal. And so to find the baseline, we basically divide that by the number of days to find out how many backers we need per day to fund our project.
16.6 people per day.
And then what we do is we want to add that value to that value for, did that thing just adjust the volume? I want to F crazy using this keyboard. There we go. All right. So it is equals our cell above and plus there we go. What did I do wrong here?
Use the, that,
You pull both of those.
Did I do both?
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. So that better equal 517. Oh, we're off by a day. So I guess it should have been 31.
Rounded up. So every third one's gonna be an extra.
Right.
No, every 3.
2 more.
Yeah, every 3, yeah, 2.
You have to divide by the day the total minus 1.
Yes. So, well, actually, so I there are multiple ways to do this, and I basically start at 0, and I think I should have had a 31 in here. I always forget how I start a chart because I don't know. You once you set it, you just populate numbers in all the time, and then you kind of forget what you've done when you have to start a new one. I really should just document the process for myself. This keyboard is really funky.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm actually increasing my number of days. Oh my goodness. All right, fine, and that should set us up for success here. There we go. So now so let's take a look, see what the chart looks like so far. You can see here, everything's down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because we have these very, very high margins here. So let's update our chart to change our vertical axis to have a maximum value of, say, 5,000. Well, let's do 3,000.
Okay.
No. There we go. All right, I am going to adjust this a little bit more. Say 2,000. just so it looks a little bit better. So now what we see here is how are these off? All right, but anyway, here's our baseline of what we need to follow from a 30-day kind of trajectory to stay on target. So let's go ahead and keep filling this out. And to be honest, I think we probably just should have stuck with like the 6,000 stuff. I don't know how well this is gonna go with me changing that up. So what is our so now what we can do is we can start putting in our all right. This is going to get really, really complicated because we're only going to 500. So I think what I am going to do is just set that goal back. So yeah, just bear with me here a second because it's about to get really kind of nasty.
Gotcha. You like it nasty.
Yeah.
Just inside.
So this is why I have these guys. Thank you.
All right. So let's go with like an 8,000 or a 5,000. Let's do 5,000. And let's just go ahead with, what do we have here? 47. It's riveting, folks. I know. I'm sorry.
Probably put functions in there.
So while you are doing this, Larry, here's a
Thanks,
question.
Demama. Thanks for breaking the silence. I appreciate that.
Here's a question. So if we kind of, let's go on the assumption that Hasbro's team, whichever team that might be, actually does take this data into consideration. We know they do. We know they do it regardless of who does it, but do you feel, this is more of an opinion than fact, do you feel that they look at this and say, or really any company, whether or not it's a crowdfund campaign or any type of mass production, do you feel like they take that into consideration when they're looking at the next project to take on in order to determine pricing, timing, and goals?
I think that they do. I've seen them provide feedback. Like some channels get to participate in like these round tables with them, and they do kind of factor in. Like for instance, you remember that one time when they had like 3 campaigns running at once? Like they're like, no, we're never going to do that kind of stuff again.
Yeah.
As an example.
I think it'd be crazy not to use the for that.
Right.
You know.
Brian, what sort of impact does it have on your charts when a company changes the script on you? And they extend days or change the goalposts, move them up or back with their needs? How does that impact you?
Well, I hate it when they do it on the week that we're prepping for Well and Brown Nation. Thanks, Todd. But yeah. Yeah, it's a real pain in the butt. But basically, you have to. Yeah, I like to track little milestones and things like that, and also extending the chart is a big pain because you have to kind of resize everything and make things fit and stuff like that. You know, for the sake of time, this is not going the way I want it to go. But let's just kind of see what we can do by putting in some backers here, right? So let's say we get 500 on the first day. you know, we're up to 5x5 and 800 die cast. This is the worst panel ever. And so we can kind of see how this changes over time.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's,
Because you're literally filling in numbers like every day.
yeah.
And is it at a certain time of the day or is it just
I
random?
grab the numbers at midnight every day, except for last night. I didn't do that.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, sorry guys, this is not turning out the way I kind of wanted it to. But let's say we get 5,000. So you can kind of see how the spikes kind of occur. And if we go below this dash line, then we know we're off target. If we're above the dash line, then we're staying on target, which is good. Since I'm not gonna have the time to really go through this and plot out the data like I wanted to, let's just see if,
10 days.
let's just see, one of the things you can see, God, why is this doing this to me? You can see these numbers change too. So based on the date, like it actually calculates looking at the date that we're on, and it'll automatically determine how many days are left in the campaign. So it'll actually change this dynamically. Like, so tomorrow it'll automatically rotate down to days left is 45. It looks at the max number of backers. So it'll tell you what the current backer count is. When we look at things like Engines of Vengeance, where the backers actually go down, then you have to change your formulas up. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put something here, like I'll actually just put the total number of backers in here instead of having my formulas look at the highest backer count that's here, because then all the math is off at that point.
But it doesn't throw off anything in regards to the chart itself.
No.
Okay.
Let's take a look at, say, the Rattler, for instance. So, like, here's the one that's currently going right now. And I probably should have just showed this one instead of trying to build a brand new one.
That shot.
It was interesting. It was interesting to see how you formulate that.
But I really wanted to talk about like how I plot this data in here, and so we can look at things that are already in here for that. And what I have is I have basically a milestone column here, and you can plot where you want the little arrow to be and things like that. So for instance, this is just like 75. Like if I were to put 6,000 here, like it moves it up here instead of it being down here and things like that. So it's just kind of fun things that you can add to the chart so that you can kind of integrate certain things that occur. Let me take that off because this chart's actually live. So for instance,
Just destroyed Hasbro stock for a second.
Somebody
Dude.
Hasbro just got an email, Brian.
so it's funny, like, have I been so busy I haven't updated this since the 21st? Interesting. But anyways, one of the things you can do here is you can publish the chart. And then here's what I've done is, whoa, this is interesting. This is like a new version with this, of these Chrome docs. Let me not screw around here. Because this is actually linked to that Geek That Life website. So I basically gave him a URL to this chart, and when I make these changes, you can actually see it on his website. And This is also the link that I shared on Facebook as well.
And we're about 195 right now.
It's up
It's up.
195. Let's go to.
Are you self-taught, Frank, or?
Self-taught.
A little bit of both.
I've been doing this stuff for for quite a long time, and it is mostly self-taught. But you pick up stuff over years and years and years.
Call yourself a prodigy.
I don't know about prodigy. If I was a prodigy, this panel would be going a lot better. I'll tell you that.
That's 1, 2, 3 all over again.
This is copy shit.
Goes. Hey, so that's test shot.
This is
Next year's the money shot.
what is this?
Whoa.
Basically, it's letting you publish individual tabs.
There we go. This is how we do it.
Because we're also.
So there we go. So I at least want to show this. So what it does is it gives you a link, and let's go ahead and put this out. That's not the chart that I just looked at. So
You pull up the ghost. Yeah, pull up the ghost, someone's ghost.
what do you think? You think it's this one?
Star Wars.
I'm really sorry. This is not going well.
Hey, man. I like a lot of what you just showed. What you showed. Overall, it's just like, I can definitely appreciate the work that you put in on, doing all these spreadsheets, to keep us in the know for this whole thing, man. This is
Yeah, I just write it down on a piece of paper, go along.
Yeah. No, this is incredible.
I ran a lot of tabs.
Yeah, I have never, so this is a new interface for me. Before, you just come down here and do publish chart, and it's the chart that you're actually looking at. And now it's like giving me all these options, and I have no idea what the heck is happening in here. So that's gonna be interesting when I do this in the future. So sorry, folks, I really want to demonstrate. Actually, I guess I can do this real fast. Let's update the Rattler with the data that I haven't put in at least a day. So here we go. I know here's our chart for that, and let me just close some of these tabs out. And let's find out what is the current backers for the Rattler? Somebody have that?
Right now, they are at 14,615.
14,615. And didn't get the numbers from the other day. I think I have this on my phone right now. Oh, look at me. In my inebriation last night, I did get the numbers from yesterday. Look at that.
There you go. You went into savant mode.
Yeah.
Breaks all brain man moves.
All right.
We vomit these
Wait.
spreadsheets.
Okay, so now we've updated these numbers.
That 14,953 you got?
Yeah.
And then 14,615 the day after.
Oh, it went down?
I think that was supposed to be 14539. 1 second.
Did not went down?
1459. There we go. Okay, so this was our chart, the way it looked before the update. we are at 14,427. And then with the refresh, usually it takes sometimes seconds, sometimes a few minutes. But let's see. There we go. Okay, so look at how messy this is. We can actually fix that with that label thing that I was telling you about. So here is where we actually put our backer data. And then I have a column all the way over here, which basically equates to the label of the data. So I will take out that one from the day before, that one from the, and I usually leave in, I go Sunday to Sunday, so I'll take that out as well. And then when we go back to the chart and look at it, you can see now it's nice and clean again. And I really like that because you want to put in as many numbers as you want. It's nice to see where people can see where it is from week to week, so you don't have to have a weekly chart as well. And it just makes everything look nice and cleaner. And also, you can put so much information on this single chart. People just use this when they're like podcasting and talking about it and things like that. And that's why I kind of stopped doing the other charts, because they're like, I saw people just using this one, so I put as much information I could into this particular line chart.
It looks like you got enough trending information there to make it look like it's going to surpass the Dragonfly.
Yeah,
It's been
indeed.
closing the gap over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they really have. I don't know if it was the unlocking of the gunner that did it, but yeah, they finally kind of caught up to the Dragonfly, and
really today's numbers aren't even done because you would normally clock them until midnight, right?
correct. Did you see it like revert back there? There we go. There it is. And yeah, so again, it's the first beginning that does really well, and then at the end, you know, it's just human nature. People like to back winners. So if it funds early, we're going to see a lot more backers than those that don't fund early. And I think it's just human nature to procrastinate to the end. So we saw that with our Rockbox stuff. At first, I thought there were going to be 10 people. And then we announced, buy it by this date. And then everybody, here there are the rest of you. Yeah. So we're over time. It's lunchtime. I'm sure people are hungry. Sorry we had trouble getting started, but Chris made quite a mess of the dioramas. You guys did awesome with that kind of stuff. So again, thanks for coming. Maybe next year I'll be able to actually build a chart for you guys. We'll just start and do that from the very beginning.
Real quick, did anyone with their drones, did they get a off piece that doesn't like go?
There should be 4 pieces.
Yeah, it's 4 pieces, but two of them, I got 2 of the same.
Anything else with the other?
No, you should have one without.
2 light feet.
You want have one without.
Both mine's,
One with a joystick and one with a. Why you
yeah.
I got 2.
Fancy. Because when they come together,
My background spreadsheets is with Microsoft products, so that's.
Well, so is mine.
I got 2 George
So,
pieces.
and it's funny, like yesterday, I had to scramble to get stuff done for work. And so whenever I have to switch between Google, and it's like,
No.
and then after last night, man, my brain's in a haze.
Similar but different enough to have screens.
There's something called Visual Basic. You can program things, put spreadsheets and things, and attach things. And do